Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Mathis. We're a premier ATP with the Project Management Institute. Welcome to 7 Minutes to PMP Mastery. Our PMP exam video today is going to focus on understanding how PMI closes a project. Organizations must close within the organization's governance structure. When they're asking you a question about closing out a project, look and see if they give you any hints as to what kind of structure that organization is or follows. And so that's going to be aligned with how you're going to close the project. Closure is not just operational, it's formal, accountability event, and so you want to follow it like that. Key governance components will include formal project closure report, confirms the scope delivery against the original charter and scope baseline. It summarizes the schedule performance, the cost variance, the benefits achieved. It provides executive level insight into the overall project performance. It also will include sponsor sign-off. The project sponsor validates that the project deliverable delivered the intended value. Formal approval prevents future disputes about deliverables. PMO compliance. Many organizations require standardized closure documentation to be submitted to the project management office. So here's some insights for the PMP exam. If a question asks what the project manager should do before declaring a project complete, the correct answer probably is going to involve obtaining formal acceptance and completing organizational documentation. And the reason is because the project's not finished yet. Only after you have formal acceptance is the project considered to be complete. Administrative closure ensures the organization learns from the project, which is a major theme in the Project Management Institute framework. Critical administrative activities could include lessons learned documentation, what worked well, what failed or created risk, recommended improvements for future projects. Examples in administrative closure could include risk register, stakeholder register, procurement documents, change logs, final project plan. These documents are stored in the organizational process assets repository. Contract closure and procurement finalization. Procurement closure is a distinct responsibility in many PMP exam questions. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is that you as a project manager are the one who's working with that vendor. Don't escalate this to your procurement department in most of these questions. You're in charge of it most of the time. So some key processes to include would be verification of contract deliverables, that's you. Ensuring the vendor met all contract requirements, that's you as well, and confirming the quality and the scope. So all of these are under the power of the project manager. Also, formal acceptance documentation would be part of closure, procurement acceptance form, vendor performance evaluation, verifying final payments, ensuring all invoices are paid, and releasing retained funds. All of this would be under the authority of the project manager in making sure this happens. Projects cannot be formally closed until stakeholders accept the deliverables. This is a telltale sign of whether you can close or not close. If the stakeholders have not accepted the deliverables, then you cannot close that project for the PMP test. So key elements to remember: deliverables must meet the acceptance criteria defined in the scope baseline. The sponsor or customer must provide a formal sign-off. Acceptance documentation becomes part of the project archives. If acceptance is denied, the project remains open until that issue is resolved. Exam insight. So if the question asks what the project manager should do when the project work is finished, the correct answer is often obtain formal acceptance of deliverables from the customer or sponsor. Not obtaining acceptance can create disputes about whether the project was actually completed. So if the test question does not give you the indication that they have obtained formal acceptance, then that's going to be your next best answer. If the test question tells you they have given formal acceptance, then you can go on and move on to the next step for trying to close that project out. Organizational learning. So the project manager must conduct a lessons learned review, document successes and failures, archive project documents, update organizational process assets. Examples of documents that would be archived would be risk register, stakeholder register, change log, final project plan, performance reports. Now I want you to notice here that some of the documents that they're listing here, you might document, take all your documents and archive them. That would be my tendency as well. But that's not how PMP PMI looks at it. So don't get tripped up in assuming, well, all the documents are archived. That's not their philosophy for how they do that with a project. Exam insight for this: if the project's complete and the sponsor accepted the deliverables, the next step often involves documenting the lessons learned and archiving the information. This helps future project managers avoid repeated mistakes. So the key on whether or not you can go forward with a closed project, you're looking to see were the deliverables accepted. So let's try a test for you here, and I've got the answer here at the bottom for you. So a project manager is closing a large infrastructure project that involves multiple vendors and contractors. All project deliverables have been accepted, and the project sponsor has signed the final project document, approval document. What should the project manager do next? Now, this test question tells you that what's happened, the sponsor has signed the approval document. So this project is ready to move forward with closure. So A, update the risk register with new risk identified during closure. No need because it's already been accepted. B, issue a change request for any remaining deliverables. There's no remaining deliverables. It's already been accepted. C, begin planning the next phase of the project. There's no phase for the project. It's already been accepted. So D was your best answer. Close all procurement contracts, finalize the vendor payments. Why? Because it has been accepted. Now, let me close this out by saying, if I can help you in any way, please contact me or send me an email. I'll be glad to answer any questions for you. We do virtual PMP exam prep boot camps every other month, and I teach them myself. And so we'd love to have you in there. I've taken thousands through since 2006, and I'm convinced I can get you through. I run about 97% first-time passing rate, and I can't imagine it being any different with you. So thank you so much for watching the video, and I'd like to see you in a boot camp if I could. Have a great day. Bye now.